I'm going to be making a cardamom and tomato curry in a few minutes, and if there's time I'll also make my coconut greens, which is spinach with coconut and spices going through. It's really quick and easy, so I'm hoping to do that while the chicken is cooking. So my name is Thea, and just to introduce myself a little bit, I started Three Spice 5 years ago, and I just do it from home. I used to live in Sri Lanka back in 2007. I was working there, and I ended up marrying a Sri Lankan. Although the story, unfortunately, we were together for 7 years and it ended up in divorce, but we do have two lovely children together, so they're half Sri Lankan obviously, so I was quite keen to keep, but although because they're growing up in Scotland, I was quite keen to keep their heritage alive a little bit. Although I have to say, my recipe, these are all my own recipes based on Sri Lankan curries, so they use the base of a Sri Lankan curry, but I've kind of added my own twist to them. So I thought I'd first of all show you the base of the curries, because I've actually got 9 different kits. I've made up 5 main dishes and 4 side dishes, and they're very versatile, so it goes really well with a lot of the neighbourhood produce, because you can make them veggie or vegan. They go really nicely with fish or meat. The 2 curry powders that I put in them are my unroasted one, which I will see if I can show you. See if I can put these down, because I can't really see the screen. Oh, there we go. So this is my unroasted curry powder. So you can see it's a lot lighter, and oh, you don't see the other one yet, but this one is basically a lot of, I'm trying to think how many ingredients are in here. I'd have to count them all, and that might be a little bit boring, but there's probably about 11 or something like that. So I grind them all up and add a little bit of turmeric as well for the colour. And this is my unroasted curry powder. It's a bit lighter in flavour than my roasted curry powder, so it's really nice with vegan ones, vegan curries, and also with maybe like a fish curry, or the chicken one, to be honest, would go with most. But it adds a slightly lighter flavour. I then mix this particular curry powder with some other spices to create different kits. This one is in my butternut and pea red curry kit, which is also lovely with sweet potatoes. So that's quite a sweet one. It's cooked in coconut milk, and it's got peas obviously with it, but you could add spinach if you preferred, or whatever you like. So they're quite versatile. Some people also add chicken to that one. And the cardamom one that I'm cooking today, this one has black and green cardamoms in it, and it uses my unroasted curry powder, because the black cardamoms are quite a strong flavour, so I didn't want to overshadow that by using my roasted curry powder. So I'm going to start cooking in a minute. I'll just show you my roasted curry powder. Oops. So this one is, see, it's darker. I roast all the spices that go into this one individually, so it takes quite a long time, and then I have to let it cool, and then once it's cool I grind them all up, and that one goes really nicely with darker meats, like venison or beef or lamb, but it's also lovely with chicken. And you know, so many veggies have told me that it's their favourite one, so I think if you were to make it veggie, you'd want to use some like bold, I call them bold vegetables that can handle it, like mushrooms or aubergines. So the roasted one is predominantly in my dark roasted black curry and my tangy tamarind. Well, that's got a bit of the unroasted as well, and it's also got tamarind fruit in it. So there we go. So anyway, I'm going to get started with making the curry, which is why I think you've come here to watch it rather than me having me blab on for ages. So on the back is the shopping list for the fresh ingredients that you've got to buy. So I was going to actually have one out here so I didn't have to open the packet, but actually I wasn't organised enough, so here we go. So you just open the top, and inside you've got your recipe card, which tells you what you need to do obviously, and then you've got your little bags. Oops, should be 3 in this one. There's either 3 or 4 depending on which kit you're going for. So this one just has 3. So you've got optional extra chilli, so you can heat it up if you would like it a bit spicier. They're all medium except for this one, the Yummy Gal, which is mild. But you can make them hotter by adding the extra chilli, or if you've got a fresh chilli, just add a fresh chilli. Or if you want to make it milder, just add a bit more coconut milk. But it tells you all this in the recipe. And then you've got your ground spices bag and your whole spices and leaves bag. These bags are all getting changed over to, I finally found some biodegradable bags, which I'm really excited about. So I'm in the process of changing over. It's been very difficult with food regulations and everything to find anything, but I've been searching for years, honestly. So there we go. So inside this bag, this is the bag that's going to flavour the oil, and we've got the black, actually I'll put that on my hand so you can see. Oops. We've got some black cardamom, you see that? These ones are really quite strong. They're actually in garam masala, and they're smoked to dry them, so they've got quite a smoky flavour. And then we've got some of the regular green cardamoms and a little bit of cinnamon. This is real Ceylon cinnamon. A lot of the time in the shops you see it's called cinnamon. They call it cinnamon a lot of the time, but it's actually cassia, which is part of the cinnamon family, but it gives a much rougher flavour and it doesn't have the same health benefits, so it's worth checking out. And we have some little curry leaves, and these are pandan leaves which I buy in fresh, and then I chop them up and I dry them in my dehydrator. So these are all going to flavour the oil, which is then going to flavour the curry, along with the ground spices. So I'm going to heat up the oil. I've got some, this is not homemade strawberry jam, this is this is actually, I buy it in bulk, so it's rapeseed oil. So I know we've got some, I think we've got some really good rapeseed producers on Neighbour Food. I think, is it, what do you call them, Black and Gold, but I think they're called, Steph, you'll know who they're called, their name is. Anyway, there's someone selling rapeseed. I quite often love the flavour of coconut oil as well, but obviously it's good to use local if we can, and rapeseed oil is very good as well. So any kind of oil is fine, but so I'm just looking down at my gas because I like to see how hot and how much I've put it on. So I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up, so I'm going to have a lot of little stories to tell you while I'm waiting for the cooking. I've chopped up all my vegetables. You can see actually what veg is going to go into this. So we've got 2 onions. You don't need to, I put these in the Magimix, you don't need to do that. I just did it because I thought it would be quicker to cook. So I've got 2 red onions. You can use normal onions, that's fine, absolutely fine. And I have 30 grams of ginger and 4 garlic cloves. I mean, it's very versatile, you can use more or less. I absolutely love ginger and garlic, but yeah, use more or less as you like. This kit actually says cardamom and peppers, but I'm using tomatoes today, because there's a lot of really flavoursome tomatoes out at the moment. But if you're using peppers, I'd cut them really, really finely, really thinly in slices, because it looks really nice. Once they've collapsed, it looks really nice in the pan once they're cooked on top of the curry. So. Oh, sorry, I need to marinate my chicken. I'm too busy talking. So I have got my chicken here. I thought I would use chicken because I tell people about all the different things they can make it with, and 9 times out of 10 people make it with chicken, so I thought I would just make it with chicken. It's chicken breast that I've got, but chicken thighs are lovely, really flavoursome. Right, so I'm just going to add my ground spices, like that. So all the spices are really, and my curry powders are all really freshly made. So you won't get any stale old spices like you get in the supermarket. So I just mix that all around. There we go. You just want like your chicken in bite-sized pieces, or however big the pieces you want in your final curry. Right, so I'm going to add my whole spices and leaves to the oil because the oil is hot now. So there we go. You can see, just oops, maybe if I move this, I'm just going to move you a little bit. Oh, lots of things fell down. There we go. Sorry about that. So we're just coating the spices in the oil to flavour the oil. I've already I've lightly opened the cardamoms, is a more delicate way of putting it, so that you're getting the flavours there in the oil. Okay, and then we're going to add the onions. Right, I'm just going to cook this a bit, and we are going to put some lemon juice over the chicken. So I should be using this board. So if you just roll the lemon, you'll get more juice out of it before you put it. So that should be fine. Okay, right. And then we're going to squeeze. That's 1/4 over there. Got a couple of pips. And then just mix it round. The other quarter. The lemon and the lime in the recipe is just, it really brings it up, especially in the butternut and pea one. The butternut and pea one is quite sweet, from the coconut milk and the butternut or the sweet potatoes, and then you add the lemon just cuts through all that sweetness, and then you've got the peas for freshness. But in all the recipes, the lemon and the lime is just makes it, I would say, a lot of the time. Okay, so that's just going to, I was supposed to do that before, at the very beginning, and then just leave it, but I'll be absolutely fine. One of the reasons I really like this is because it's very forgiving, and it's not like baking where everything's got to be really exact. So it's actually really easy. I actually tested these recipes that I made up on my mum's husband, who likes curry, but he used to make it out of a jar, and he followed the recipes. Now he makes them for my mum. So that's really nice. Oh, and we're adding the ginger and the garlic to the onions. There we go. And I just mix that around. Just have some like Sri Lankan music on or something. I like cooking in the evening with a glass of wine and yeah, anyway. Okay, you should sit down again. This is my mum's husband's favourite one. He likes cooking it with chicken. Everybody seems to have their favourites. Whenever I'm at a market, all the men come over and they want to buy the dark roasted and the tamarind, and the women come over and they want to buy the butternut and the cardamom. Funny that, isn't it? Right, going to add the chicken. So let's see, I'm going to add the chicken. There we go. And we are just going to grind it off. So you want the heat to be on reasonably high because you're going to brown it, sear it, sorry, not brown it. Starting to smell really nice in here. My neighbours sometimes get excited because if I have the kitchen door open they can smell the curry. I quite often, well, before COVID, I was making like curry for sampling and things like that, and sometimes like give them some over the fence. So I'm in a few neighbourhood markets. I'm in Stirling, which I've been in for a while, and I'm also in Cullen, and I've just joined Falkland, please don't say forgotten. There's Falkland. Oh, there's another one. I'm so sorry, I've forgotten which one it is now. Anyway, you can find me. Pitlochry, that's it. I've just literally joined Pitlochry, which is nice because it's near, not far from where I'm from. I'm from Perth originally. When I was living in Sri Lanka, I used to eat curry for breakfast, lunch and dinner. On my way to work, I would stop off and I'd have a dal on the way. Right, I'm going to add my tomatoes. You can use like a couple of large tomatoes, or I've just got some. These were the nicest looking tomatoes, so I bought these. So I'm going to stick them in the pan. Oops. So I think my chicken is browned nicely. So stick them in. There we go. If I was using peppers, I'd maybe add a little bit of water, but because I'm adding tomatoes, I think they'll be fine, but I'll keep an eye on them. And I'm going to give it a stir and pop the lid on. Oh, that's not, oh, I just made it in the wrong pan. Just realised I made it in the wrong pan. Oh well. I'm actually going to, that is annoying, I'm going to have to transfer it because I don't have, please excuse me, I'm going to transfer it over. I don't have a lid for this one. Oops. Right, we edit that bit out. So there we go, it is in here now. Okay, so, and I'm going to pop the lid on, and I'm going to show you some Sri Lankan rice that I made earlier. That is going to go with it. It's red rice, and it's actually really nutritious rice, and it's what all the locals. There we go. I made it a while ago. I have to say I made it earlier because I didn't want to have to make everything at once. but it doesn't taste like red rice. It's much lighter and fluffier than the like raw red rice, the red rice that you get over here, which is quite nutty. So yeah, it's good. So I'm going to now make the coconut greens while the chicken's cooking. Excuse me one sec, I just need to wet this pan. Right, so the coconut greens is really quick and easy, and I mean like super quick and easy. So I'm just going to add some oil to the pan to heat up. Right, the coconut greens, which is this one, is one of my side dishes, and it's great with kale, spinach, Savoy cabbage, any kind of leafy greens, and it's really good for children as well, because it actually there's spices in there as well, which sweeten up the greens and they make them more colourful, so it's kind of, well, I think they're more attractive for children. And I have one customer who always tells me she hated kale, but she likes it now because it takes the bitterness out of the kale. So there's not much you need to really buy for this recipe. It just literally has one medium onion, some oil, and your greens and lime or lemon. So the oil has heated up. Inside the pack you've got your mustard seeds, curry leaves, cardamom, and then you've got your pack 2, which is your coconut with your spices in it. So I'm going to add in packet 1 because my oil is hot. There we go. So we'll add that to here. Oops. There we go. And then you can really see that it's kind of fizzing. This pan's a bit big probably for it, but there we go. So the mustard seeds all start to pop and sizzle, and when they do that, that means you can start adding the onions. So I'm going to do that. Oh, and salt, a bit of salt. Pinch of salt. Add as much or as little as you like, obviously. There we go. And then I will get I've got spinach today, so I'll get my spinach. Now I have I've already chopped this. Usually I chop it really finely, but actually I haven't really that much kinda in pieces, but that's fine, doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna chuck it in there, stir it around, take 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna add this. There we go. Bring it over. So you've got some nice, slightly more interesting colourful greens. Actually, if you cut it a bit smaller than what I've done, it will be more sort of less green if you want to do it for the kids. It'll be more colourful. But yeah, that's really nice little side dish. So I'm going to turn that off just now because I don't want it to overcook, and check on my chicken. My chicken is still cooking. Oops. I actually had it on a bit low. Whoops. Not used to this TV cooking. Right. It will need a bit longer. So. Oh, and the coconut greens, I forgot, need a bit of lime on the top. I would actually do that probably just before you serve it. And just rolling it out to get more juice. Apologies for this, I'm a really messy cook. That's probably why I don't do that many lives. I should really, everyone tells me I should, but I'm quite messy. Right. Okay, so that's fine. So we'll just keep that for when we're about to serve the greens, or maybe get a plate. So you can see there we go. It's nice, isn't it? Some Sri Lankan rice. Obviously this would be better if I just made it. And this isn't in the recipe, but I like to just have lots of different kind of toppings to sprinkle on the top of your curry, because it really, I don't know, I think they're quite often forgotten. The butternut and pea red curry comes with the garnish of coconut, which you just dry roast and then you can sprinkle over the top, and it looks really pretty. But this one doesn't come with the garnish, but I've just dry roasted some cashew nuts. And I thought I'll just sprinkle that over the top to add a bit of crunch, because it's always nice to mix up the textures, isn't it? If anyone's got a favourite garnish they like to use, let me know. I'd be quite interested to know. I think we have a lot of salt, a few salt producers on Neighbourhood as well. I know there's the salt pig, and then there's also, well, this is looking better. You see the chicken? It's looking better. I think there's a salt producer from up north possibly as well. So just seeing, it's not quite done, but it won't be too long. See, there's not much to do except stir, so it's pretty simple. Just get my coconut milk from the fridge. I've just put it into a glass. Now you can, on the recipes it tells you how much to use, but that is literally just personal preference really. I mean, I've made the majority of them up to be like a medium curry, so you can obviously add more. I add a bit more for the kids, so it's not quite so spicy and it's a bit more creamy for them. So you can just add more or less, but there's a suggestion on the recipe obviously. So there we go. This is almost done, and then we will add the coconut milk. Just let it cook a tiny bit longer. If you were using the optional extra chilli flakes, if there's a couple of you and one of you liked your curries a lot hotter than the other one, then you could just add this on at the end. But ideally, if you knew that you both liked hotter than medium, you would just add this to the oil at the beginning. Maybe not all of it, or some people do add all of it, but that would be pretty spicy. and then that'll also mix in with the flavours by flavouring the oil as well. So but yeah, it's quite good if there's a couple and they like different heat levels. So, or if you've got a fresh chilli, add that in. So my chicken is pretty much there. I think I'm just checking it. Yep, that's fine. There we go. You can see it. There we are. Right, I'm going to add some coconut milk. What I've done with the can is I put it into here and I've just mixed it with a fork, because otherwise you've obviously got the thick part of the coconut milk and you've got the thin one. If you've ever bought like a, I don't know what you call it, like Slimmers one, less, what they call it, low fat or something, all they do is they add water to it and take off some of the cream, I think. So it's not worth it at all. It's a total con. But anyway, so just add as much or as little of this as you want. I'm going to actually turn off the heat because it doesn't really need to cook anymore, and it's hot. So, oops, I don't want to connect. Get a spoon. There we go. If you're not a big fan of coconut, you could use yogurt, but I would switch it off. The yogurt might curdle, so I would just switch off the heat and add it in at the end. So there we go. I'm going to have a wee taste and see what I think, if it's how spicy it is or not. Okay. Chicken, I'm sorry I can't offer you any. Right. Yeah. That's nice. Sorry, I feel a bit saying, oh, that's nice, because this is what I made it, but I think it is nice. And remember as well, when you taste it in the pan, it will seem less spicy when you're having it with the rice, because obviously the rice doesn't have any chilli in it. So yes. Okay, so I'm going to add this to this is the spoon I was looking for. I'm going to add this curry to my plate with my coconut greens and my rice. There we go. So we'll pop it on here. There we go. And I don't know if you can see oh gosh, not very good at this. The plate. Oh, can you see that? And what we'll do is we will sprinkle, or I will sprinkle some of these cashew nuts, trying to make it look artistic. Oh, I don't know if you can actually see that, can you? Oh, sorry. There we go. That's better, I think. There we are. And yeah, I hope, if you've got any questions, do ask. I can't see any comments, so I don't know if it's because nobody's commented or there isn't any. I'm really not sure. I can see there's 4 of you on here. Sorry, I have no idea. I can't see the comments if there's any. Oh. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing some pictures of your creations. If you make any of my coins, I'd love to see a picture. You could post it on my page, that'd be amazing, or a neighbour food. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.